you loved The Exorcist when you were growing up, when you were a kid dreaming about being a filmmaker. You wrote a letter to the makeup artist, Dick Smith.
Yeah.
Dick Smith did all the makeup on The Exorcist, which was an incredible makeup job, right?
Unbelievable.
So you write him a letter, and he sent you a tongue.
Yeah.
A tongue from the movie The Exorcist.
That's right. Dick Smith was someone who he did, Godfather, he did Altered States, Scanners, and The Exorcist. So I sent him this fan letter, and I was, 13 years old, and I received in the mail this little box. I still have it, and it says Dick Smith, Larchmont, New York. And I open the thing up, and there's a little handwritten note, and there's a foam latex tongue.
Wow.
And he says, here's an old but clean tongue from The Exorcist, put a little peanut butter in it and stick it in your... And I'm like, holy crap. So I start this correspondence with him, asking him all these questions. This is before there were behind-the-scenes featurettes and all sorts of... You couldn't download information. So he told every secret. He was so generous. And it turns out that I was among 100 or plus fans who would constantly send him letters, and he would respond to each of us. He introduced me to Guillermo del Toro in 1990.
Guillermo del Toro, great director.
Who also was, he was this, upcoming Mexican director who sent the same kind of notes to Dick, and Dick would respond. And he was just the most generous,
what an incredibly generous guy to send a 13-year-old a tongue from The Exorcist.
But he would answer. I mean, dozens of letters. I mean,
it was like getting a master course in filmmaking.
And one day, this was so crazy. I think I was 15 or 16. I was in at LaGuardia. My mom and I went to pick up my father, who was flying in, and I see a man come off the plane, and I'm thinking, holy crap! I think that's Dick Smith. And I never met him before. And he had 4 fingers on his left hand, because at one point he was working on a job and he jumped off a train and his ring got caught and it basically stripped his finger.
Oh my God!
So he had the bone cut off, right? So it looked like he only had 4 fingers on his left hand, and I was like, it's a Hitchcock movie. I'm like watching this man and thinking, if he has 4 fingers,
it's him.
That's Dick Smith. And he had 4 fingers, and I go up to him, and this is like he to me is like the Rolling Stones. He was like the Beatles. I'm like, holy, no one cares.
Right.
And I'm like, Mr. Smith, and he was the sweetest guy, and I actually got to work with him years later on a movie.
Wasn't your mom
Forever Young?
Forever Young?
Yeah.
You worked with him on that?
Yeah, he did the old age makeup with Greg Canham on Mel Gibson.
You hired him because you knew him?
Dick Smith. He was actually in retirement, and we actually got him out of retirement to work on that movie.
And you were 13, and didn't your mom say, "Who's this Dick?" Who's
my mom said, "Who's this man named Dick, and why does he keep sending you tongues?"
Yeah, did he think? I thought, like, man, maybe something weird is going on.
Yeah, something.
I think about that
wild is up.
Yeah, with our kids, I think if a stranger started sending my kids a tongue in the mail, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah.